Well, faithful friends, I first met this gentleman in a show. I mean, I saw him, I think late 60s, early 70s, and he became embedded in my mind as an icon of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Mr. Franklin Edwards. And here he is now, a full-grown man. I knew him well, and he at that time he had a Michael Jackson kind of look. And in fact, Vincent used to call him young Michael Jackson. He had a big afro. I tell you, a hell of a afro, I tell you. You know those afro? That Angela Davis kind of afro.
Good morning, Brian.
And yes, and he was in the entertainment business. Most people, you young people wouldn't know of him, but he's a very famous guy. And you want to run us through your musical career, kind of, browse it through a little bit, Mr. Edwards, young Michael Jackson, Max.
I started out in music about 1972. First year I got into grammar school. They used to have that show called Junior Mr. Soul. It was joined up with Miss Teen, and in that competition I came second. Larry Tucker won. Some say I should have, but that was a first year grammar school boy, so
I remember him.
You couldn't win being a first year grammar school boy. So the second year I came back and I won. And the third year I lost my crown, I would say. And I was defeated by this brother who walks the street now. Not of song mine, but was St. Vincent's best vocalist. We used to call him Inch 2.
Inch, yeah. Okay.
Back in the days.
My reggae festival king, yeah.
Extremely talented brother. It's unfortunate to see him walk in the street. And all that talent is going to waste. So I continued singing, was in some groups, left for the US early 80s. Continued singing also, was involved in a couple of bands, originals, Nascent. I was involved in Negus. Then family life came in. I went to law school. I went to college, did a couple of degrees, and then I went to law school. My first love was always entertainment, music, and I wanted to be involved in music and entertainment in every possible way. For all my undergraduate degrees were in communications, broadcast. I decided to change tracks and get into the legal profession. I became a lawyer in 1996, 97 in New York, New Jersey, and then I started practicing law. And I've been an attorney since then. I've done a lot of entertainment work, a lot of immigration work, and I actually worked for 30 years as a trial attorney, litigator for MTA in New York City Transit. Those are the folks that run the transit system in New York City. I retired a few years ago from them, but I continue practicing mostly in entertainment and immigration in New York. I'm home, doing some work. Still involved in music. I've been managing Bomani since 2005. We've made a lot of journeys to many places. And I continue to keep myself informed and up to date in regards to music and entertainment, being an entertainment attorney.
Okay, take us back to our time when we used to appear in so much shows. We had so much shows, so much entertainment in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Yeah, the 70s.
What are you feeling? I mean, you had a lot of fame for a little youth, man. I think you wasn't even. I don't think you were 14 as yet.
Yeah, close.
Right, and with this big afro, and those days socially we believe in the black power business, so all these things were intertwined.
Randy, they have blessed memories. Always, still, just before he passed, he always called me Michael Jackson. And I couldn't get rid of that name.
How you felt of that, living in the shell of a great man like Michael Jackson?
I guess you could probably say I was ahead of my time, being born and raised in so many opportunities for musicians back in those days. Entertainers wasn't that much. We didn't have the technology as we have now. We didn't have the opportunities that we have now to sell yourself broadly and widely across it. With the internet, etc., we didn't have those things back in the 70s. But we had local talent. We were able to grow talent. We have a lot of groups, instruments, singing groups. Sly and the Slummates, Black Orpheus, the Bowman Brothers. We had a lot of talent, and in those days we didn't have, as Brian, we had the technology auto-tune, so you had to be able to sing and harmonize, and we had a lot of those groups. When I'm talking about bands, I mean, we had so many bands and instruments. what I mean? Now it's very hard to find 3 and 4 bands. At one point we probably had 5 or 6. And music was a whole different kind of, it was a thing of joy back in those days, because you go to these talent shows. We had talent shows like Snap Soul every weekend. We had places where you can come and showcase as a youngster, showcase yourself and your talent. I don't think we have enough of that right now, because there's too many young, talented artists in this not getting the opportunity. Everybody waits for Carnival, and Carnival shouldn't be the only time. And Carnival is so limiting us in terms of developing ourselves as a cultural industry. I think we need to find ways to showcase and develop the younger artists in this. One of the other problems we have is the medium of radio. I don't think they're giving enough credence to local music. During the regular season, you will hear 90% what I would consider American, Jamaican, Trinidadian music, and maybe 5% local. But during Carnival, you hear some soca music for like a month, 2 months the most. But the other 10 months, you're playing every other genre of music. So there's no way for us to showcase the hundreds of songs that we have guys producing like yourself every year. You know, during Carnival season, there's hundreds and hundreds of songs get produced, but you don't hear them. You know, all the radio stations basically follow the same format. If there are 10 hot songs, they play those 10, and the other 90 rarely don't get played. And those 10 hot songs are already up tempo soca, which is part of our culture. But the music that takes us forward is the sweet raga soca that comes out of singers. And I guess all the radio people, all the DJs follow that trend of pushing that kind of music, because it creates that festival kind of vibes, which is what we're in now. But it's unfortunate. I think we can do both. We need some radio stations that show what I consider community radio, that focuses more on internal nationalistic promotions, music, culture, arts, etc. We don't have enough of that. Everybody follows the same format and playing the same set of songs. So we have a lot of work to do in this country. We have too many talented youngsters that needs guidance, that needs an understanding of this music. It's not just a hobby, it's an industry. Unfortunately, soca is not a highly monetized genre of music, but one can do well and of it from it. But we just need a lot of help, a lot of guidance. We need to help the youngsters understand the industry from all aspects, because it's not just going up on stage and singing a song. There's more to it. You know what I mean? There's management issues, there's copyright issues, you know, there's publishing issues. There's a bunch of things that makes a business like any other industry. But a lot of the youngsters don't understand that concept, and we have to find ways to instill on them that to develop themselves as if they're running a business.
Yeah. How do you contain yourself? I mean, you must been young Michael Jackson before, and nowadays you might be a little timid to come forward. But I know, talking to me now, your voice very audible, sounds young still, and why you never make a try? And now that you have the technology, why don't you do some recording?
Well, I've done some recordings over the years. Every couple of years I used to do some soca recordings. I've done quite a few. Did a lot with Cherry over the years. I would say I kind of focus more. I tended to focus more. I wanted to focus more
on management.
On management, the business aspect, the legal aspect, because I don't think we have enough people who are knowledgeable in that part of the business.
Yeah.
We have enough singers, we have enough performers. I know I can still perform and sing, but this is the time for the young people. I would like to be able to help in the other aspects of music, such as the management.
But finally, I'm going to put you on the spot. I want you to give me a comparison of our days, the kind of music, and the modern time as today, and what we can do to alleviate, bring some sort of sanity, if I want to apologize for that word, to what is happening today.
Well, I think, Brian, I think it's trends. Music nowadays is trending different. We have to understand and accept that, right? we have enough music that we can still have what people consider not great music. You know, the wild up stuff and some that doesn't make sense, harmonizing lyrically. We have all of that, but we still have good music. If we can find a way to play all of it and not just promote that which is not going to help us beyond St. Vincent shows, that would be great. So, and it's just a different time too. The technology is different. I think back in our days, as you know, as a musician, you had to play. You had to be able to play and you had to be able to sing. Nowadays, you can make it happen with technology. So the comparison is really, this is a different time. We have to accept that this is a different time. The younger generation, saying this is a very young country in terms of the youths. They run things, so they are gonna have their certain likes, and we have to understand and respect that and help to promote them because they're the future. You know what I mean? We are the old dinosaurs in this thing going out, and we can't leave the youngsters without giving them the proper message, the proper know-how how to continue the tradition of good music that we started back in the 60s, 70s. I mean, there's a lot of talent in St. Vincent. There's a lot of talent, but we just need to find ways to promote it. There's a lot of reggae singers, gospel singers, R&B singers, hip-hop singers, not just soca, and they really don't get promoted. They really don't. It's unfortunate. And we have so many radio stations, but we hear less local. That to me, that's kind of funny.
Now, in about 20 seconds, because I want you to tell me, you said something just now, and I want you to tell me why would we be thinking that way when people like Stevie Wonder is still singing.
Yeah.
Just before Ray Charles died, he was still representing America in music festivals.
Yeah.
And they were keeping the trend. We have in the Caribbean Beres Hammond, who's singing the traditional reggae.
Yeah.
So tell me why.
Well, I think one of the difference with us and our genre of music of soca, like I said earlier, soca is not a very highly monetized, meaning that you don't really make a lot of money from soca. Even the top artists, I wouldn't consider them superstars, millionaires, because you don't make that kind of money when you do shows in soca. The streaming of soca music is very low. Our people are I wouldn't even consider them fans in the true sense. You might more call them fanatics because they would love you, carnival, jump and wave and whatever, but they would never go out and download and stream one of your songs for 99 cents a dollar. And streaming is a big industry with all the different platforms. But Caribbean people do not do that. We will probably copy it from somebody. So why these guys can go into their prime ages still doing music is because they're making a living from it.
Yeah.
You know, understand? They make a ton load of money from royalties. They play in clubs, they play in hotels, they play all over the world. We don't have that in soca. So fellas, as they get older, they tend to drop out because they have families to take care of. They have a life to live and they can't depend on music, our genre of music, to support. So we have to change those things also, create more avenues where people can continue to make money. Hotel industry, the entertainment circuit is in business seriously lacking. So we have to do those things so you can continue even as you get older and not have to try and find other way to survive and give up on that nice culture we have called music.
Yeah. So thank you very much on your busy time. I see you every morning. So
yeah, I can't keep fit as I get older, Brian. You have to do more, eat less, and eat better. Word to people in St. Vincent.
I hope your words had educated a lot of youths who are listening, and that was my intention. I'm sorry that for the very noisy
that's all right, man.
surroundings here. One of these days I'll pull you in my studio.
We'll sit down some. Yeah, I definitely will come to the studio, man. We can sit down and have a long chat, you know.
Because I see you as an icon in St. Vincent. You're a very humble person who don't shout from the mountaintop.
Not at all.
And I really do appreciate what you're doing for the youth still with Manny and whoever else you're.
Yeah, I'm available to anyone who wants my advice.
So can you you would like to give numbers and thing here, or you leave that?
You can find me on all the platforms, Maxi or Franklin Edwards.
Franklin Edwards or Maxi.
Reach out to me, you know.
Thank you very much again, Mr. Edwards.
Thanks, Brian. Anytime, man.
Yeah.